All right, so I've been watching a lot of shows, man. A lot of shows. I'm a avid watcher of the Rich Eisen show, which is crazy. I've never watched it on Roku. I've always seen the snippets from YouTube, but I want to actually watch a live start to finish Rich Eisen show. And one of the things that I've been seeing is, and we discussed it earlier in the show, that there are a lot of people talking about every team but the Detroit Lions, but we're used to that. That's what we've been. It's been even when we play good. Even when we play good, it's never enough. And I think that that's going to be something that keeps the team humble, keeps them focused, keeps them, sharp, knowing what they have to do. I think as fans, we think that they're going to get a big head. These guys, no, that's us. We're the ones they're going to come out and play the game. But I've been seeing a lot that, you don't want to see this team. You don't want to see that team. I heard today that the Detroit Lions don't want to see the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And I'm saying, well, wait a minute. Okay. The Buccaneers they're 1-2 against us. We beat them in the playoffs. We beat them at their house, and they beat us when our offense was trying to get off the ground, right? You play us now, even with a healthy Godwin, Bucky, and Evans, we win. We win that game. We were trying to figure out what was happening on offense, and I think it was because we didn't have the Josh Reynolds replacement. Tim Patrick, he wasn't even on. I don't think he was on the active roster that game. So we win that game now. But there's a team. You see them on the thumbnail that everybody's talking about. We don't want to play. It was the same team that put up 40-something points on the Buffalo Bills yesterday, and that is the L.A. Rams. You have no idea how sick to death I am of hearing about Matthew Stafford. It's okay. The Lions are 2-1 against Stafford. Stafford beat us when we was at our lowest point. In 2021, we had 0 wins. 0 wins. We were 0-5, 0-6 playing them. He has not beat. It was a knock on him when he was here. He can't beat a good team. Now, he did that yesterday. He sure did that yesterday. He had Puka going off. He had Cup showing, the fountain of youth. He had Kyron doing his thing. So he had a team around him. Yesterday was a good win for Matthew Stafford. But I want to ask you, as a Lions fan or a Rams fan or any fan that comes across this video, are you nervous? Are we back on this Stafford thing that we don't want to see? We don't want to see Matthew Stafford. I mean, Rich Eisen said it. It's hard to beat the team 3 times in a calendar year. Rich Eisen is saying we don't want to see the Rams. We don't want to see the Buccaneers. I disagree. Let Stafford come back in here with a healthy Puka, healthy Cooper Kupp, healthy Kyron. Let us play him. Healthy Tyler Higbee. Hopefully he's back by then. I am tired and sick in both of hearing about Matthew Stafford and the fact that the Rams are just, we play the Bills. We played the Bills this week, all right? And this game is huge. It's huge for a number of reasons because Josh Allen right now, after yesterday's performance, you had 6 total touchdowns. He threw for 3. He ran for another 3. Now, I think you got to put him in as the front runner for MVP. It's going to come down between Saquon and Josh Allen. Or Nick Wright will tell you that Goff's going to win MVP. But my thing is, we can hang with the best of them. We've beat Stafford twice, okay, both times at Ford Field. And when we had a good team, because we didn't have a good team in 2021, okay? He also didn't have Puka Nacua in 2021. But what is it with this Rams, this fear that people are starting to have? They're scared of the Bills. You're scared of the Packers. You're scared. You have no idea how many times I've heard that somebody is scared of our opponents. I'm not scared of the Eagles. I'm not. All of these teams can be beat. All of these teams, we can be beat. We can be beat. So I have no fear about Matthew Stafford, all right? The only thing I will say is this. If Stafford, or if we lose, it doesn't have to be Stafford. If we lose to any team this year prior to a Super Bowl appearance, it will be a massive letdown. If we lost to a Matthew Stafford at home, it would be even a worse letdown. So here's what they're saying, all right? Let me bring in this real quick because I want y'all to see it. So here's the current NFC playoff picture. The Eagles clinched yesterday, so they are guaranteed to make the playoffs. Right now, they are well within the number 1 seed. We slip up, one loss, depending on who it is, they get the number 1 seed. So now we're dropping down to the next 5 spots. These spots are open. The Rams yesterday, the win was big. The Lions will be the 1st, 2nd, or 5th seed. It's going to be one of the 2. They will not be anything else than that. 1st, 2nd, or 5th. Then you have the Washington Commanders that no matter what happened yesterday in week, they could not move. They didn't go up. They didn't get down. It was impossible for them to lose the 7th spot yesterday. Then you got the LA Rams. So here's what the argument or the concern for people like Rich Eisen is, that the LA Rams somehow sneak in, and I got to give it to them. They went from dead. They were dead both years in a row. They started 0-2, and are within a game of the, as a matter of fact, they're tied with the 2nd place team in the NFC West. All right. So now you have the LA Rams that will probably slide in. The Rams are trying, they could be the 7th. They're probably not going to be the 6th unless Green Bay falls off a cliff, but they could win the division. They still could win the division. All right. So if they slide in as the 7th seed, okay, and they upset the Philadelphia Eagles, or we drop to the 7th seed or the 2nd seed, then they play us in the wild card round. If they upset the Eagles, who are the 2nd seed, they play us in the divisional round. Oh boy. You can already see the narrative. Now, I think that the Lions have already squashed the narrative of the Matthew Stafford narrative. But I will say this. I said last year on Lion Syndicate that there might be one more Stafford narrative in play. And this could be it. I would not be surprised, ladies and gentlemen, if Stafford and the LA Rams make the NFC title game, and that game is at Ford Field, and he is standing between us and our first ever Super Bowl. I'm not kidding. This is on record. It is receipted, and I have said this numerous times. I could see that happening. The Stafford arc will be over after this year. It will end. Him and the Detroit Lions, all that stuff, because it will be over this year. But you could see it a mile away. This year, not so much. It's a lot that has to happen. I mean, the Rams could be the 3rd seed. They could be the 3rd seed right now. They could be the 3rd seed. And if they're the 3rd seed, they wouldn't play us till the NFC title game. So I'm not afraid of Matthew Stafford. I think that we've conquered the narrative already, but I can see a narrative where Matthew Stafford comes to Ford Field in the NFC Championship game, and he is standing between the Detroit Lions, his old team, their new quarterback, in the building that he used to play at before we get to our first ever Super Bowl. And I'm going to tell you what, losing to Matthew Stafford, hypothetically in that game, would be worse than anything that could have happened. It would be worse than losing in a walk-off field goal after being up 40 points. Like, I'm not even lying. It would be worse than being the San Diego or LA Chargers being up 30 some odd points to a guy who threw 4 interceptions and still lost the game. That's how bad that would be. I don't think that would happen, but that's how bad it would be. So let me know. Is there any team I'm not afraid of any team. I'm not afraid because my team ain't afraid of any team. And I've seen that we can beat anybody. Jalen Hurts had 108 passing yards in week 14. His receivers, A.J. Brown, was complaining, and they won the game, and he was complaining. I'm not worried about any team. This team has shown me that these guys can beat anybody. So let me know, are you scared of is Matthew Stafford and the LA Rams? Because y'all was terrified of them last year. Y'all was absolutely terrified. Some of y'all said we were going to lose that game, and we didn't. So let me know.